medal in the 10,000 meters, just a stretch too far in the 5,000. Kajelcha, who may have aided his teammates by that big surge at the bell, finished out of the medals. Chelimo won another medal. You just saw him, the young Ethiopian, just going through the picture. Be watching him over the next few years. Barega, Mashal ran well in the 1500 in those World Championships and chased Mo Farah home in Birmingham on Sunday. Well, I'm sure for Mo Farah there'll be a few thoughts about the journey he's come on to get here. I was looking up some track results. You can go all the way back to 1995 when he won the English schools. Well, he won the English schools in 1997. 1995, his first track event, 1500 meters, 4:43. And now here he is at the other end of his career, choosing one of the great stadiums to compete in, one of the great crowds to compete in front of, a very knowledgeable crowd who'll be, I'm sure, very appreciative of the fact that Farah has chosen to come here. And it's a little unusual because Mo Farah, since he's been winning at the global level, every year after the major championships since Daegu, he hasn't done this. He's run in the UK, he's run in Birmingham, but he's never come back onto the Diamond League circuit. And in fact, the last time he did it, in 2010, was here in Zurich, and he finished 5th in the 5,000 in one of his fastest times, 12:57. So he knows what it's like here, and he knows how hard it is to come back after a major championship. So let's hope it's a good race for him.
Well, Mo Farah can never be accused of shirking opportunities to race the best, Steve. Yes, one or two of his races, even in the UK, with that first lap going through in about 60 seconds, one or two of his UK races look a little soft, but the home crowds always go home happy. But Mo in Eugene at the end of May this summer met an incredibly strong 5,000 field. He dealt with them. Then in London, when it came to the World Championships in that 10,000, he dealt with everything the Africans could throw at him, despite the teamwork. He said it was the toughest 10,000 he's ever run. And I don't think Mo's received enough credit for that 10,000 metres victory, being only 12 seconds off the world record, being incredibly fast in a major championship race, one of the greatest ever 10,000 metre finals at championship level. And of course he was tired for the 5,000 a week later. That was absolutely understandable, and it would have been a miracle had he won the 5,000 after a 10,000 run at that tempo, in my opinion.
I still think it irks with him that he didn't win. He knows what happened, and he said it was when the big change of pace came, fatigue meant he couldn't quite go with it. Once he got up to speed, he was competitive, but by then Edris was away. And of course, young Barega, who's in the race here, and Kajelcha, all three of them made a move at the same time, and he wasn't just fighting to beat one on the last lap. He had three very good Ethiopians to beat. And of course, over the years, everyone's tried to work out how do you beat Mo Farah, and in the end, as Tim was alluding to, I think it was fatigue that actually was the main contributor to his defeat. That's not to take anything away from Edris, who's just moved ahead of Mo. Mo just kept keeping an eye on him. Edris and Mo Farah together, a little further down there. 2:35 through the first 1,000 metres.
Well, Jarian Lawson in this men's long jump final takes his first effort. Good speed, nice rhythm there. And that looks okay. This hasn't really been a vintage season for men's long jump. But Lawson, well, the World Championship silver medalist, won in Birmingham last week, gave a degree of respectability to the scorecard in the Midlands of England with, I think, an 8:19 winning distance. And that from Lawson as an opener. Goes out to 8:07. Early days in this long jump final as things stand for the American. He is the US champion. And yes, 8:07, a solid opener. Now, Samai, South African, opened his account with 8:14. He's, of course, the bronze medalist from the World Championships. This part of this resurgence in South African athletics, which has brought them such a fabulously strong squad through this 2017 season. He's experienced, Samai, good on the board there, as bronze medalist from the Commonwealth Games 3 years back. 5th in the world indoors last year, gets good height there. And that second round effort from the South African coming down at 8 meters 23. Beautiful technique. Very well muscled, isn't he, the 25-year-old? He's moved on well from his 9th place status at the Rio Games. And 8:23, beginning to hit his straps. Well, Luvo Manyonga has been the sensation of this summer. He is the new world champion, the Olympic silver medalist in 2016, but its consistency has been quite supreme through 2017. 8:46 at altitude at Tignes since the World Championships. That gold in London, of course, has given him newfound confidence. World Junior champion back in 2010. Good on the board there. He fouled out in the first round. This second round effort brings him down at 8.31 meters. Takes an early lead, but it is South Africa in 1 and 2. Manyonga 8.31, Samai 8.23. And remember, Lawson 8.07 at the end of the second round. Well, that begins to draw attention to the South Africans, doesn't it? Now Michael Tornius over Sweden. Tornius, well, 8th in the World Championships. 8.44 he jumped last year. Hasn't been able to hit that sort of mark this year. But this third round effort is solid. Really needed to hit a mark there. Could call it a safety jump, or was it? That one coming down with a very slight headwind at 8.09 and moves him into 3rd place. Shunts Lawson with that opener of 8.07 down to 4th place. Tornius, well, he's the oldest of all this current crop of long jumpers, along with Mokoena and Lapierre. He's in the 30+ category. But the South Africans sitting pretty so far.
Well, in the men's 3,000 meters, the pace has been good, solid, kept going after that first 1,000 meters, just slowing a little bit, and well stretched out, you can see there. Mo Farah in about 9th place at the moment. They went through 2,000 meters in 5:13 at the front. Farah was about 5:15, so just outside 13-minute pace, but they've got to keep that going. And you can see that quite a few of these athletes have said, well, I don't mind if it is Mo Farah's last race, but I want a good time here. Ahmed is well up there, the Canadian. Chalimo is right up there. Kajalcha, Ben True of the USA, you can see in the blue. Actually, going back to that race, Tim, in 2010, and I was curious to see who won it that day when Mo Farah ran 12.57, his first time under 13 minutes. It was won by Tariku Bakili, and Chris Zielinski of the USA finished ahead of Farah. So it's amazing what's happened to Farah in the ensuing years. Those 10 global titles, and he hasn't run quicker than 12.57 too many times since then. But tonight, that sort of pace is where they're operating, assuming they'll pick up over the last 1,000 meters or so. And you can see Farah just moved up a little bit past Ben True.
You see, I think Mo, Steve, earlier in the summer was in virtually world record pace for shape for 10,000 meters. He won at Ostrava in 27.12. He was very disappointed with the time, but because he'd said he was going for the world record. But it was sweltering hot in Ostrava that day, and that form came out in London. Frankly, I think that the strength and endurance he showed in London was quite supreme, and I hope that he's recovered enough now to show that he's in great shape for a 5,000 as well. I suspect he's in personal best shape for 5,000, even though he's tired. And his personal best at 12.53, by world standards, the very best, doesn't reflect his ability. He's capable of going quite a few seconds quicker than that when you think the world record is 12.37.
So through 3,000 meters, 7.53 for Farah. The lead now is Ahmed. Now he's pushing on, which is good for the race, because normally when the pacemaker drops at 3K, the danger is so many times we've seen the 4th kilometer go slow, and then we end up with a 13.5, 13.10 race rather than a 13-minute. They're still within striking distance of 13 minutes. That will be less important to Mo Farah than the fact that he is within striking distance of Edris, and he has a different race to run here, Mo Farah. He's got Edris in front of him, he's got Kajelcha in front of him, Barega, the youngster, who impressed so much at the championships. There he is on Farah's shoulder, and I'll bet you one thing tonight, Tim, he doesn't let them get the jump on him at 400 meters this time. He's going to be paying attention, He's going to be fresher as the pace continues to drop here. Look at that. They're all suddenly bunching up, and this is starting to play inevitably into Mo's hands.
Well, you could argue, couldn't you, that Mo Farah, when he entered that 5,000 metres final in London a couple of weeks back, wasn't on a level playing field. He was running on very tired legs. All these 5,000 metre specialists, despite the fact they'd had a qualifying heat, came into that final relatively fresh, and they really made him work for it, didn't they? That silver medal that he took. But Mo tonight, well, he's fresh. We know he's got this astonishingly astute ability to get things right in races tactically. And again, Mo has outwitted the Africans. Have they got the better of him, Steve, tactically? I'm not sure they have, really, when you think that, you know, you don't want to big up too much the fact he was tired in London, but he was fatigued, and I think that he ran virtually the perfect race, aside from missing that extra gear down the home straight. These, 9 men have got away now, and they're not doing anything to defeat that Mo Farah surge that we know has won him again and again on the circuit.
Well, we've seen a few attempts to end careers on a high, haven't we, this year? And Usain Bolt couldn't do it at the World Championships. Farah himself couldn't come away with a double gold, and Tim touching on why that might have been. But he'll certainly want to go out with a win here. But the others are there to spoil the party. The Diamond League title up for grabs, as well as the prize money. That won't bother Mo Farah. He's done pretty well, thank you very much, over the last few years. And Mo, now, as they move into the part of the race where he'll want to hold that position. And look at what happens. Ahmed goes not yet. 1,000 metres to go. 2:46, a slow kilometre there. That's why they're all bunched. And Mo Farah's been in this situation so many times. So many times he's come out on top. He'll want to make it the same here. Will he strike first? Will he just try and control it from the curb as he likes to? Or will he be happy sitting where he is and wait for one of the others to make the first move?
Well, again and again these last few years, we have wondered why the best that the Africans can find have allowed Mo Farah to control the race over the last 2 or 3 laps. And that surge there for Mo Ahmed, just to keep Mo Farah on his shoulder, was interesting, because the same tactic perhaps is being employed here. I got the impression with 1,000 to go, nearly a lap ago now, Mo Farah wanted to get to the front, wanted to start dictating proceedings, but he's not prepared to surge in a big way, Steve, to get to the front. Mo Ahmed had a fabulous double himself in London, getting high positions in both 5 and 10. Now Mo Farah gets the front with 600 metres to run, but you can see the energy in that pack, can't you? The nervousness. They're desperately keen to make sure they match everything that Mo does and don't let him go.
So finally Mo Farah moves to the front. The final act of a superb career on the track. 10 global world titles. Most of the time he's not won by very far. The smallest of margins won by big sprint finishes, and he's going to attempt to do the same here in the Diamond League final as they approach the bell where he wants to be. Farah in front, Kajelcha on his shoulder, the tall Ethiopian with the diminutive figure of the world champion behind him, Edris, Ahmed on the inside, Chalimo, 5th place, trying to chase, but this time Farah's got the lead. That's what he likes to have, the crowd rising to their feet, this capacity crowd, and Farah's got a hold of Kajelcha, and he just about manages to do it. Means that Edris has to go wide, 200 metres to go, and now it's the current world champion at 5,000 metres against the 10,000 metre world champion, and all of the other global gold medals that he has being laid out here for the others to try and take away a last bit of glory. But Mo Farah striking for home. He's going to have to keep this going right to the line. It's going to be tight again. Can Farah get there? Yes, he does. They throw themselves at his feet, figuratively and literally. Mo Farah gets to the line first. The cheer goes up. What a way to end. Maybe his closest victory of all of his great victories. The Diamond League title will mean nothing near as much as all of the gold medals at the Olympics and the Worlds. Barshim celebrating with him. Edris throwing himself at the line. It wasn't to be for him tonight. Goodness me, that was close. And sometimes if you want to go out, make it dramatic. make it look good, not coming down the home straight waving to everybody, fighting tooth and nail. That's what I love about Mo Farah. He's competitive to the end. He never gives up. He doesn't want to get beat. Most of his career, he didn't know how to get beat. And he's bounced back after that rare defeat at the World Championships with a win tonight. But it was so close.
Well, Steve, the fact that they all turned up to race him is what makes that a symbolic victory for Mo Farah in particular. He's running on fresh legs. They're running on fresh legs. This is where there's an even playing field, so to speak. And Mo Farah literally having to dive at the line there as the others hit the track. It was the perfect end to a track career from this great champion. And this was the decisive moment, wasn't it? Mo going a little bit quicker, using a gear here that I think he'd prefer to have held in reserve. Kajelcha there been cut up a little bit by Edris. And down the home straight, Edris, I believe, with 100 to go, thought he could get past Mo Farah. 52.61, the final circuit there for Mo Farah. Look at the features of the Briton to the right of picture. They're coming at him, can't get there. Chalimo, Edris, the tall figure of Kajelcha. And Farah just holds his form as Chalimo can't find daylight between the pair of them. Desperately tight at the line there, but it is a win for Mo Farah to close his career, and I'm so happy for him because he's met the challenge again and again, Steve, so impressively. The gloves came off from all of them tonight, and that was a fair and square victory for the Briton.
What a race. He's got some great pictures to hang on his wall of a great career, an illustrious career, and maybe that one might be one of the most dramatic. Mo Farah wins the Diamond League title in his last ever race. The winning time, 13.605, winning by just 0.04 of a second.